Okay. Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Veera, and yourself?
Good, good. I am fine. And can you say your full name for me?
Yes, my name's Mark Hargreaves.
And do you do you want to tell us where you are from? You are not in
Yeah,
US.
I'm not
And
in the US. I'm in the UK. I'm in Nottinghamshire, just 7 miles outside of the city of Nottingham,
how
and
did
it's
you find me?
um through Yazzie actually.
Through who?
Yazzie,
Yazi? Okay.
Yazzie, it, Yazzie, uh, Yasmina Rossi.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Very good. Yeah.
and it was
Call her
something.
Yazi. She's a good friend. Yeah.
She's a delight, isn't she?
Mhm.
And
Beautiful
um,
and delightful. Hmm.
yes, and it was through Yazzie. For some reason, I got to know you through Yazzie. Really?
Okay, I know we've been talking for a while, and I forgot what the connection was. How
Yeah,
did we connect? Yeah, because after
yeah,
a while, friends are friends.
yes,
Okay, sounds good. And I know we've shared our stories
yes,
through Facebook and our text messages through Facebook again. And so we both believe that we come in this world for a reason,
yes,
and God will give us opportunities to learn those lessons,
yes.
and also give us quizzes to make
Oh,
sure
yes,
we're learning what we came here to learn.
yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your lessons and what you think what was your purpose and what your past history, your life has been like.
My past history. I suppose you can say I'm semi going backwards from where I am now. I
Mhm,
suppose I'm on the cusp of semi-retirement. Prior to that, it was 21 years as a prison officer.
mhm,
Prior to that, I educated myself late in life
mhm,
and went to university and all that sort of stuff,
mhm,
um, where I read psychology.
mhm.
Prior to that, I spent 5 years, 6 years actually, working in a wholesale flower and flower market.
Okay.
And prior to that, I actually was a fitter,
Fit,
working for
what's
the.
that?
A fitter is like a mechanical type, doing mechanical work on coal extraction machinery underground.
Mhm.
So I was like a mechanic working underground on specialising in coal extraction machinery. That would be conveyor belts, armoured face conveyors,
Mhm.
and prior to that, I was in the Royal Navy.
Oh, okay.
So, and that is my career.
Okay. And what would you say your core personality? How would you identify yourself as?
Quite gregarious. I'm always a happy sort of chap, laughing. Try and think positive all the time.
Yeah.
I
Were you
try
always
not.
like that?
I'm sorry, Vera.
Were you always
I'm always,
happy?
oh, yes, always like that. Happy, joking. Um, as a child in the family, I have two other brothers.
Mm,
I'm the eldest of three. My parents would always be laughing and joking
mhm. So you
rather
had a
than
good family life as a
yes,
child,
yeah,
good
yeah,
childhood.
yeah. Always positive rather than negative.
Yeah, you were telling me about the lifestyle in your family because your dad was a army colonel or
Yes, yeah.
Navy.
My no, my father was a retired colonel,
Okay.
and
Army or
my
Navy? It's Army.
army.
Yeah.
My mother was Church of England priest.
Okay. So that would
Plus,
make your childhood is more very disciplined because
it
priest,
was
and
very
I mean, that's a
yes,
pretty strict,
very
yeah.
yeah, very strict and disciplined.
They raised you as three good boys, I suppose.
Almost angelic.
Most angelic, okay. Well, why not?
Almost.
Why not? And then after you were out of your family home, you
Yeah.
got married. What age were you when you got married?
Um, I got married 22, at 22.
Young, young.
Yeah, yeah.
And how was their life like?
Well, after I came out of the Royal Navy, and when I was in the Royal Navy,
Mhm,
half of my wages all the time I used to put into savings all
mhm,
the time because I was preparing and thinking ahead for
mhm,
when I eventually want to buy a home.
mhm,
So I spent 5, 6 years of my Royal Navy time. 50% of my wages went into savings. So
mhm,
when I came out the Royal Navy, knowing that I was be getting married,
mhm,
I had quite a substantial amount of money saved.
mhm.
But going from the Royal Navy to the to working down the coal mines, my wage as such then quadrupled.
Mm, okay.
So it then gave me a huge step up
Mm,
to um, being able to buy a reasonably nice home for a first time buyer. That
yeah.
was at the time.
Mhm,
And that also gave a leg up to having a stable home
mhm,
for what was my wife at the time.
mhm,
And eventually that there would have been children as well.
mhm. So do you have children?
I've got two children. Yes, I've got Louise
Mhm.
and I've got James.
Okay. Are you still, you're not with your wife anymore?
No, absolutely not. No, no, no.
That sounds pretty definite. So why do you say it like that? Definitely not, like you would not want to be.
Well, the marriage started off what I thought was okay, but as time went on, things started going a little bit wrong, Vera. It
Mhm,
was not pleasant. It was like it was cold. It really was,
mhm.
and um, things just started getting bad, really bad, and
Expand on that. What would you call it, Bat?
um, bad atmosphere. I, when I say going out, that sounds wrong. I don't mean going out drinking, but just when I'd get home from work, I used to like to go out for a walk. So I'd put the children in a buggy or whatever age they were,
Mhm,
and just take them for a walk for 2 or 3 hours. And it
mhm.
would be by myself. I'd be
And
on
the
my
children
own.
walked with you 2, 3 hours?
Well, if they were in buggies, Vera,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. If
And you're
not,
the one walking, yeah.
yeah. If not, I would stop, sit down with them, play with them, give them time to see the countryside, see the parks, explain things to them in the gardens, and just what sort of grass this is, what sort of flowers these are, and just try to educate them.
Mhm. But the purpose of staying out was to stay away from the coldness.
Yes, yes. The
And you say cold, it's like she just won't talk or what?
just it was just a not a nice atmosphere.
Yeah, but
Um,
can you
you,
explain what do you call like
when you try
yelling, screaming, fighting, or just not talking?
just
Quiet.
nasty comments when you ask a question, it was a rhetorical, aggressive no or a yes or so. Over a period of time, this is where you start to think, hang on a minute, why am I being spoken to like this? There's no reason, there's no need for that.
Mhm,
So I found going out, being out the way of the house.
mhm. You
I,
told me
I
at one time you even went out with the dog for 8 hours.
yeah, yes, oh yes, that was a regular occurrence, going out like that.
It was regular occurrence too.
Yeah, yeah,
Just to get
just
away.
to get out, just to be away,
But did
coming
it
back.
turn physical?
It did at one time, yes. Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was hospitalised twice for having my arms stitched up,
Mm.
um,
So why, how did she get to your arms? What happened?
throwing teapots, throwing anything that was it came into hands, cups, mugs, pottery, knives, anything that was close was thrown at me. And you put your arms up, Vera, to protect you.
And your children were there watching that?
No, most of the time they would be in the other room, but they'd hear the bangs, the noises, the shouting. I remember once I got hit in the face with an iron. You know, I got, and at the time it split the inside of my mouth.
Oh my God.
And I just said, go away. And as I said, go away, the blood from inside my mouth went over her. And she went back in the house, and one of the neighbors came round, and the neighbor saw all this blood over my ex-wife. So they called the police, and the police came, and I was in the garden sitting on a chair, rinsing my mouth out. And I was sort of looked, and I could see two pair of boots looking, and I looked up, and it was the police, and they said, and I had a towel over my face like this. They said, what's been going off? And I said, I'm okay. And they said, no, your wife's covered in blood. And I dropped the towel, and the police said, oh, do you want an ambulance? Because all this was, I said, no, I'm fine. Give me a few minutes, you know, an hour or two, and see if it's any worse.
Why did you say you're fine? You're obviously not fine.
Well, I wasn't fine, but I think it's been a man thing. You try and cover it up, Vera, and you try and play it down. You know, I'm the man, but I've been assaulted by, you know, my wife at the time, who's half the size of me. What do you do?
Why were you allowing that to happen to you then? Like you just said, I'm the man, she's half the size of me. Why could you not stop her from doing that? I'm not saying physically beat her up or anything.
No.
But how could you, you know,
I've
instead
never
of just saying that, why couldn't you just hold her and say stop?
Because I've never experienced being attacked, and I've never experienced a woman attacking me. And
then you were allowing it every day, and you went to the hospital twice, different times, stitching your arms.
But how do you, you know, I didn't want to touch her and grab her because I could have bruised it by grabbing her.
While she was making you bleed and cut.
Yeah. I just soaked it up.
Soaked it
you
up.
know, yeah. Which.
And what made you finally say this is it? Because you're now with her.
I'm not with her at all now. No, she has remarried, and she's happily married to a lady of all people. But that's her business.
That's her business.
Yes.
But you were going to tell me what made you finally say this is it, and I am leaving.
Well, the actual catalyst was when I was lying in the hospital on the second time, because it was the same doctor who was sewing me up. And he said, what the effing hell are you playing at? And it was that point, it was like a light coming on. I was just to think, have I got to do this the rest of my life? And I thought to myself, no. So I then went back again into the lion's den, and I mentally made a plan how to leave without causing as little distress to me and everybody else around me. But
I am happy that you are out of it and you're not in abuse anymore. But
yes,
this is what we wanted, you know, wanted to interview you to tell people. And it happens to men too. And it's harder for men to say, I live in abuse and I'm being hurt or abused by a woman. A lot of women don't talk about it when they're in abuse, of a lot of fears and shame, but it's worse for men, right?
I didn't know who to speak to, Vera. I think it's a man thing where you don't talk about it, and you don't discuss things like this with your friends. And it's taken me a long time to get to where I am now, to actually openly speak to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
and talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, we've known each other for a few couple of years
Mm,
now, more
yeah,
years, many
yeah,
years.
yeah,
But we recently started talking about it when I saw you leaving some messages or notes, because I'm always posting stuff like that. I have a
yes,
book on domestic abuse awareness, so of course I'm always talking about domestic abuse awareness and how to get out of it. Of course, you do everything you can to
yeah,
fix the situation. That's why I'm also a mediator. But if you can't and you are still in abuse, you have to leave. If you can't fix it, you have to leave. And I'm so glad you actually did.
mm.
And you are
Well,
in a happy place now. You're
I-
peaceful.
I'm in a really happy place. Um, got a nice home, a beautiful home actually,
Yeah.
and it's in a quiet area, a beautiful area,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it's silly things like having a nice home, having delightful neighbours
Mm-hmm.
who are not only your friends
Mm-hmm.
but also people who will look out for you as well. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just not just me; it's also Diane.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you know.
Diane is your friend,
Yes,
your companion that you live with.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's right.
And you met her through work.
Through work, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as I say, you know, she was um, in charge of all the nursing
Mm-hmm.
within all the whole prison estate,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just by chance that
Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
speak to her. Then we just bumped into each other by
Yeah.
accident some time later. You know,
Why not?
yeah,
You deserve happiness. And yeah, you don't need labels on it. You guys are happy. That's what makes sense. And your
yeah.
companionship, nobody's hitting you or throwing things at you.
Oh no, no,
Yeah.
no,
You
no.
wake up happy and go to bed happy. That's
Yeah,
what life should be. That's what
absolutely. You
life
know,
should be.
and if we can pass this message on, that
Mhm.
you know, if you imagine a foot, if this is your life, a foot long,
Yeah.
you know, the abuse that we have
You-
gone through
Yeah. You and
is
I.
only say
Yeah.
half an inch of that foot long ruler of your life,
Hmm.
and you don't want your life ruined by having abuse for a large proportion of your life. But
Right. Right.
having the abuse makes you and makes me what we are now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it makes us stronger, makes us more kinder. you know
Yes.
of course we were good people to not fight back and take it. Like you said, you didn't want to hit her, you didn't
Yeah.
want to bruise her by holding while she was cutting you open. Yes. And no, but at some, this is what we need to teach our young people right from start, that they deserve better. They
Yes.
do not accept anything less than respect.
No.
Everybody, people say love can conquer all, but lot of these abusers, they will tell you till the end that they love you. But
Yeah.
if that's your love, then keep it. I don't need that kind of love.
No. No.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading a story, Vera, just to go off on a slight tangent. I do apologise.
Yeah.
That the average person, male or female,
Mhm.
will be abused or attacked up to 14 times before they even start to think about leaving
Yeah.
their abuser. And I
Yeah.
just think that is,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
And when they think about leaving, it's not the extent of abuse, like this was the worst. There comes a turning point when you've just had enough.
yeah,
Or like you went to the doctor first time, he's stitching your arm, you've got your lips open. And then the second time when you're laying there with your head down, and then he tells you, what the hell are you doing? And
yeah.
that's what makes you think to leave.
It was the
I'm thankful for the doctor to point out, since you
mm,
were not seeing it on your own, that
no,
you needed to get out. you know if you can't
absolutely
stop
true.
it, you have to get out. Of course, we do everything to make it work, and we should give everything we can to
Yeah.
fix it. And but if the other person is just not willing to do it, then you have to get it out. You have to get
Oh
out.
yes.
You have to get out.
Certainly, you certainly do, Vera. You
Yeah.
certainly
One
do.
way or the other, you have to live a life that is respectful and
Yeah.
it's love. You know, again, I've been saying this for a long time. It's in my book too. you cannot live on the crumbs of love. You feel loved once in a while. That's not love. Love should
Yeah.
be all the time. There should
Yeah.
be no fear of that person. That's when you come home, when you are carefree, you feel safe. And if you don't feel safe, you have to walk the dog for 8 hours because you don't want to come home. That's not
Yeah.
home, right?
No. No.
Right, right.
You know, when you get the abuse where I used to cook all the meals, cook all the meals. I
Mhm.
used to do all the washing, and when she used to come home and throw the meal against the wall,
Mm.
you think,
What does
okay,
that mean? Throw the mail at the wall.
just throw it. I don't particularly like eating late,
Mm.
and
Oh, meals, meals.
meals. Sorry, Vera.
For some
Yeah,
reason, I thought mail. Why throwing the mail at the wall? Throwing the
no
meals at the wall. The
meal.
food is going on the walls. Okay.
Ooh, yeah, the whole meal
Okay.
went up
Sorry
up
about
the
that.
wall.
Yeah, yeah,
So you clean it down,
yeah,
wash it,
yeah.
then the next day you decorate it to get it all nice and clean again.
Oh, so you had to clean all that.
Well, I did do because that's what I did.
Yeah. And this was
But
happening how often?
every day, every other day.
Oh my God. And how long did that last?
Gosh, years, years, several years.
Several years. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You
yeah,
had to go through that, but I'm so glad that you're out. So we want to tell people there is a life out there. You
yeah,
don't have to live in abuse. You
yeah,
have to take the matters in your own hand and get out. If you can't do anything else, you got to get out and find that loving, beautiful, wonderful life that's waiting. It
yeah.
is there.
It is. It's hard work. Once somebody can take you to the door, but you've got to step through that door
Yeah,
and make the decisions.
right.
I know. I'm sure. I don't know your exact history, but when I left, all I had was one chair in the flat at the time,
Yeah,
and I slept in the chair. I had nothing else to do. Just one chair and nothing else in the whole place,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that was me for a week, and then slowly,
yeah,
things start dropping into place.
yeah.
And I was in that flat for 2 years.
Mhm.
Got myself my thoughts straight, got my mind straight,
Mhm.
then moved on.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, that's what you have to do. But still, that freedom when you're not afraid of somebody else, that one chair feels so good.
Oh yes.
And
Yes, it is.
yeah, you're
Yes,
not
it is.
afraid of anybody walking through the door and yelling, screaming. That one little chair is heaven.
Oh yes. my
Yeah.
little my little empire.
Seriously, yeah. I even remember my kids when they would come to me in a small place. I used to feel bad because I left a huge, huge house, and they would say, "But this feels like home," you know.
Yes.
And that just gave me hope and gave me also a little more strength, because I was doing it not just for me, I was doing for them too,
Yes.
so to save them because they were also living in abuse.
But doesn't it make you feel good when they said this feels like home, Vera?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we had one little sofa, but they said at least we're all sitting together on one little sofa.
Yeah.
It was
Fantastic.
a rental one-bedroom apartment, leaving
Yeah. Yeah.
mansion and going to one-bedroom apartment felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing your story and giving people hope
Yeah.
and showing that no matter what, for one, we should not live in that. But we have to keep looking for ways to get out and save our,
Certainly.
because
It's
we owe it to ourselves. you know
yes.
God did not create us, if even if you don't believe in God. We didn't come in this world from wherever we came from to be abused or hurt. We came here to have fun, to enjoy this beautiful world.
You're absolutely correct, Vera. You are absolutely correct. We're on this journey. Let's make it as simple and as happy and
Yeah,
as positive as we possibly can.
And even to be with someone should be to enjoy together. We cannot give somebody else their right to hurt us, you know?
No, never.
Yeah, we can't, yeah. If it's not fun, don't do it.
I agree with you on that one, Vera. Just totally.
So,
Yes.
thank you very much. You and Diane have a wonderful, beautiful evening. I know it's a little late for you from England. You're what, 6, 7 hours ahead of me?
It's 1942, Vera. So it's 20 minutes to 8.
Okay, you go by your army time, 1942.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
18 minutes to 8 in the evening.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm keeping you guys from dinner. And
No, we've all eaten. Thank you, Vera. All eaten.
so hi to Diane again, and you
I
guys
will do.
have a good evening. We'll talk.
Yes.
Take care.
And
Bye.
you, Vera. Nice to speak to you. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Good night, darling.